Howdy. Fish.org, 2 days old or something. Supernova, auroral sounds, and hungry tides. Unpacking First Nations knowledge of the skies. In Fish.org, how Indigenous elders read the stars. Duan Hamachers, the first astronomers, explores the deep and living star knowledge of First Nations people from around the world and challenges the notion that Indigenous knowledge is not scientific. Wait, we have to go back. What year do we have again? 2022. Okay, so now let's continue. This magnificent book is the latest in a growing body of work showcasing Indigenous knowledge of the natural world. It follows other popular texts, including Bill Gamage's The Biggest Estate on Earth, 2011, Bruce Pascoe's widely debated and important Dark Emu, Australia's First Naturalists, 2019, and Penny Olsen and Lynette Russell in the First Knowledge series edited by Margot Neal. Neal? Astrophysicist Hamacher has been guided by elders and knowledge holders Giller, Michael Anderson, Zegar Passi, John Barso, David Bosun, Rondai, and Alotapim. This book developed from a collaboration with Torres Strait Islander scholar Professor Martin Nakata, a leading authority on the intersection of Indigenous and Western ways of knowing. It's stunning in scope, impressive in detail, and accessible in style for readers with no background in astronomy. Like me, terms are clearly explained. Importantly, Hamacher reflects on what he is learning throughout, demonstrating his willingness to listen and learn. His example reminded me to reflect on my own assumption about different ways of knowing. I just want to point out it's really, really, really interesting to have this kind of news in which they are questioning the interpretation of Indigenous knowledge and what people were telling in old tales on which many of our modern religions still are based, and they happen simultaneously all over the globe. And I have been reading this quickly, not like really, just quickly, and I haven't seen a few names like VELIKOVSKY, Dave Talbot, Cardona. None of them. Really interesting. So they seem to avoid those. Challenging Western scientific knowledge. First Nations people have been observing the skies for millennia. This book recognizes that Indigenous and Western ways of knowing can work together. Indigenous astronomy has often challenged Western scientific knowledge, motivating further scientific inquiry. For example, auroras have long been witnessed by First Nations people, both in high latitudes near the Arctic and low latitudes in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and Australia. First Nations people have reported auroras sounding like rustling grass or a person walking through snow. Sami, the indigenous people of the northernmost parts of Sweden, Finland, and Norway, refer to auroras as vuovashas, meaning the light you can hear. The Western scientific community was dismissive of these auroral sounds, but in 2016, a group of Finnish scientists, guided by Sami and Inuit traditions, confirmed that they exist. I'm not going to read you the whole article here. I just wanted to show you one thing which I thought is really, really interesting. This, ta-da! This is really, really important. Hamacher also recognizes the importance of incorporating indigenous ways of knowing into school curricula, such as Professor Marcia Langton's education modules for secondary schools in the areas of fire, water, and astronomy. Recognizes the importance of incorporating indigenous ways of knowing into school curricula. Worlds in Collision. IMMANUEL VELIKOVSKY. First published in the year 1950. 72 years ago. Now let's just go to a random page and read a few lines. As the clock has no device to adjust the height of the head, it is improbable that this hourly manipulation took place. Besides, in order to change the height of the head every hour in itself an impractical method, it would have been necessary to have another clock to show the hours without any manipulation, thus indicating the exact day was divided into hours that represented equal portions of time between sunrise and sunset, independently of the length of the day. 1950, this book was written. If they will start to teach or just bring into knowledge for everyone that this exists since 72 years, I guess people would probably start to think more by themselves. It's really interesting. I really like those news we just had today. Hamacher also recognizes the importance of incorporating indigenous ways of knowing into school curricula, such as Professor Marcia Langton's education modules for secondary schools in the areas of fire, water, and astronomy. That's really cool. Really cool. But I leave it here. You can read. You can. You don't have to. It's up to you. But I will put links below if you're interested. Get wise about it. Take the knowledge in and make your own conclusions based on facts. And remember, facts really don't care about your feelings or whatever things you were expecting or supposed to expect. I leave it here. Thanks.